I imagine when you say switching tracks, that Jesse's going to put a bit of NWA on now. Straight out of Compton. Or maybe not.
Where's
the rest of it? Where's the rest of it? Keep going.
I don't have something queued up that I was hoping to have, but let me see if I can find.
Oh, that wasn't it.
That wasn't it.
I hope not, at least.
Bling.
Everybody loves the Windows bling.
Oh, not on my laptop. Because like, bling, that's it. We're going to do it. I'm going to crash. Get ready, guys.
It's the warning.
I don't know, I may not have it anymore. Oh, here it is. Hype Train.
What? Was that a train?
That's not me.
That is a train. Sorry, 1 minute.
Was that a train? That's what.
That was from
Sorry,
March
guys.
of 2017.
Let's do this. All right. I'm ready to go.
Who's doing the opener?
I will.
Okay.
Unless you want to. Why don't you do it, Gary?
Okay.
Do it live.
Ready?
Hi.
We're doing it live. We are ready.
Go for it.
Yep. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 241. That's right, 241, recorded on August the 1st, 2019. And on tonight's episode, we're going to discuss a whole bunch of things like Super Smash Brothers, Dragon Quest themed spirits to be added to the game. That's interesting. This is a mess. Let's start again.
That's interesting.
Right, hang on. I went through the news.
Please understand.
What is the best thing to start about? Because the news is such a weird week.
Smash
It's
is
going to be
good.
smashing.
Smashing EA.
Smashing EA. Okay.
Well,
right,
no, I
ready.
mean, like you can
Smashing
you
EA?
know,
Yeah, let's do that.
in the news. Smash
Yeah,
updated and EA are still morons.
Okay, ready. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 241, recorded on August the 1st, 2019. And on tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about Smash Brothers, a whole heap of Smash Brothers, and EA, everyone's favourite company. So, Jesse, let's go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us for episode 241 of Nintendo Dads. My name is Marty, and joining me tonight, a cast of characters from around the world. If they were Muppets, they would be the ones you remember and not the ones that you forget that flail around in the background in some scenes and not others. Speaking of Muppets, Jesse Waldack, how are you?
Waka waka waka.
I was actually thinking of a particular Muppet.
Yeah, I was avoiding that one.
I think Gary knows him.
You may have broken me a little bit there.
Look, we have already.
We've
this
been
show is
recording
already
for
40
30 seconds. Gary's already broken.
Yeah,
Good job.
We're already 40 minutes late tonight because we just could not stop talking about life and all kinds of other stuff. But that's fine. Sometimes you need to talk about life and PCs and daughters' dance classes and all kinds of other stuff you can't talk about on the show. But Jesse, how are you, man? How's your week been?
Pretty hectic, as you know. We have getting ready for school. Or the youngest one is entering her senior year of high school. The middle one just moved out. He's got his own place with two roommates. So the house will be getting quieter, and then it'll be really quiet next week because my wife will be in Pennsylvania camping for like 10 days.
By herself?
Well, but within the family unit, yes, but she's with other people. I think she'll be in a group of 6 or 8, and amongst the community, it'll be over 10,000 people at this.
Wow.
It's large enough that the state considers it a city, even though they're only there for 2 weeks. It's big enough to be a city, and they have to have a functioning post office and running utilities and all. So I can send a letter to an actual address, and she would receive it.
Just for that week, though.
Just for that week.
You know, because like when you first started talking about her going camping, I was like, is this like one of those, like alone and about to die, or naked and afraid,
she's,
or dropped
SCA
off and
reenactment,
surviving
14th century reenactment wars. If you know
Yeah,
anything about that,
I don't.
yeah.
But it sounds cool.
You know, there's a Lily's War, which is what we in June in the local area. She tries to go to Gulf War every year. Doesn't always make it in March in Mississippi, I think. Near Gulf of Mexico, Gulf Wars. And she's always wanted to go to Pennsic, and this is her first time actually being able to go.
Cool. That sounds awesome. Do what you love, right? Do what
Sure.
you love. Speaking of doing what you love, Mr. Gary Gray, he's back, and he looks different on his brand new PC.
On a computer that's not going to blue screen on us.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. We gotta make it through an episode first.
True.
Hey, it's Fire Emblem week, right? I haven't played it. Okay, we'll get through to that in a second. But it's
We're gonna
Fire
have to
Emblem
hear
week,
that story.
and I've got a new PC, so hopefully now crashing. And I mean, when I was choosing it, I was scrolling through the website, and I had a little Fire Emblem quote that was in my head when I was looking at the PCs, which was basically "Pick a PC and pray." Because seriously, that was all I could think about. Is if I get a new PC and it goes down, that's it. That's the end of the podcast. I'm gonna wreck shop.
Is that Fire Emblem
You know-
or is that WWE? Which one is it?
You know what's funny about the whole situation is knowing Gary and how he feels about Fire Emblem, and knowing me and how I feel about Fire Emblem. Gary has not played Fire Emblem, and I have.
Yeah. Mine's through to a few technicalities, should we say, because I would have got quite a bit of Fire Emblem in. But we'll talk about that on the Let's Play, because I haven't played anything this week. Spoiler alert! But we'll talk about why I haven't played anything this week.
There's a video that they can go and look at and see why. Right?
Yeah, there is.
Over on our
Completely.
YouTube channel.
It's an
Total
unboxing
plug.
of Fire Emblem.
Go check it out. Pause the episode. Go watch the video. Come back. You'll have complete context. Also joining us this week, Nintendo Dad's community Discord guru. That's right. We've got a guru too. It's Tim Off.
Hello, everybody.
The man,
this
the
time
myth,
I
the
wore-
legend.
I wore
The-
my Detroit Tigers hat to hopefully remind you that I am from Michigan, Marty, not Minnesota.
Tim is joining us tonight all the way from the snowy depths of Minnesota.
Ah,
You know, as an English guy, you're like, oh, from Detroit. I'm like, which part of Sweden's that again? Because I have no idea about the geography of the USA.
The southern tip. Tim is also, you may not know this, but Tim is a very rarefied supplier of Hot Wheels Mario Kart cars, and yeah,
Yep.
he hooked
I
me
keep
up.
my eyes peeled.
I'm excited because when you live in an area that has one target in a 2-hour radius, the scalpers be crazy, yo.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
didn't turn up in
Whoever
a
dis-
trench coat just full of Hot Wheels cars, did you?
I know that I just got to say this because if I don't, I'll say it somewhere else and it's okay. Whoever it was at Nintendo and Jack Pacific or Hot Wheels or whoever decided that Mario Kart, like accurate Mario Kart Hot Wheels, needed to be a store exclusive, needs to be drug out in the street and kicked in the butt repeatedly
What's
and
weird is
humiliated in front of people.
I don't remember seeing a Target logo on those cars, but you'll have to look at it again for me. But
There is no logo. It's just that they're the only store that's carrying them right now. It's like from what I understand, other stores will get them, and other stores like internet
The time
toy stores like
exclusive.
Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth can distribute them. But
Okay.
as far as like local retail, only Target's going to have them for right now, which is nutso. You know what's nutso? We've been in the show for this long and we've not hit the news yet. So
I think
let's
that's a record.
just dive right in. Jesse, give me that news music, please.
Oops. I forgot to bump the volume back up. Let's try that again.
There it is. 2 for the price of 1 this week.
I got distracted. A guy from work is in the chat, and I was saying hi to him.
Nice.
Well,
Hello,
Hi, guy
guy.
from
I
work.
blame Walton for
Yeah.
stuff at work. Why not blaming Walt? Why not blame Walton at the podcast?
That's fine. Hey, guys, our news is brought to us this week by you over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. where for as little as $1 a month, you can hop in over there and get access to our private Discord server only for patrons. Yep, the air is very thin up here.
Yep.
It's awesome to be on top of the world. You can join in there, or for $5 a month, you can get access to every single sub channel in the Discord, including lobby and such rare channels as lobby and
well, like we've
We've
got
got different categories.
yeah, there's like a big section of game specific content.
Yeah, game specific channels.
Topics.
And there's
Let's
Mario
play.
Maker codes flowing in there and all kinds of other stuff. Tim has done a great job setting all that up.
Plays
for
for
us. We're
tabletop
thanking him.
games.
Yep, tabletop. There's toy pictures and all kinds of stuff. It's great.
Movies and
you
media.
need to do that.
Wallpaper.
And then there's $10, $15, and $30 levels too if you'd like to support us in that. And we want to say a big shout out this week to our good friend, Third Strongest Mole, who just recently upped his pledge to the $15 level. We're going to start shouting out people who upped their pledge as well from this point forward. And so we want to say thank you. Really, guys, it doesn't matter whatever level you support us at. We are very, very thankful for you and all your support and helping us get things done over here. So if you're not a patron, jump on over there right now, at least on the dollar level. Come be a part of our Discord. We would love to talk to you. We'd love to chat with you during the week. And it's just tons of fun over there. So that's our commercial. We won't talk about it anymore right now. Big news this week, Smash Brothers 4.0.0 update has now dropped. Nintendo released a 22-minute-ish video on July 30th detailing release date for the hero as well as the update. And it was done live stream style. So Masahiro Sakurai just basically played the game live and talked over it.
Well, I wouldn't call it live.
Yeah, it was
severely
semi-live stream,
edited,
right?
but
yeah, I mean, he
I
was
call
like,
it.
usually we show these things and they're well put together, and I was like, well, then what is this? Right?
I call this a direct, not direct.
Yeah, it was not scripted. That was one way it was said. It was not. They didn't write a script for it like they would a normal Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
So let's run down
the actual plays. They were definitely not in Let's Play style. They were choreographed.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let's run down some of the news that was revealed during this Direct. If you have not seen it, or is it a Direct? It's a presentation. I don't know. If you haven't seen it yet, you can go over to YouTube
It was
and watch
a YouTube video.
Yeah. So this update includes the hero character, which is the second of the DLC pack. It includes 4 Dragon Quest heroes, 3, 4, 8, and 11. 2 of them have names like Solo and some other name that starts with an A.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the Japanese version of what we call Erdrick, but that caught me off guard. I've never heard of that name.
Rusa or Runa or something like that. And then 2 of them have the highly creative names 11 and 8.
Right.
And then they showed off an alternate color for each, and they're like, can you guess who these are supposed to be? My answer, no.
See, I've played almost every game, and
You didn't know?
without playing them again, I wouldn't know.
Right. So those 4, I guess, very distinctively different skins are a part of the hero package, as well as an alternate color for each. You also get the stage Yggdrasil's Altar, which includes a rising platform that it noted. I noticed he mentioned as he was playing, it rises in Super Smash Brothers fashion, meaning it doesn't in the game. And he did play through the stage and point out several different things. There was a big whale thing flying around in the back that apparently has something to do with the story. There's a rainbow bridge. He named off some of the different things and also showed the tree, the world tree or whatever it was, that has a glowing green orb inside, and he said it's very important to the story. Of course, Dragon Quest XI-S does not release in the United States until September 27th. Is that right, Jesse? I know
September
you're
something. I don't have the exact date on
It's
me.
either the 27th or the 29th. I
I'll
know
get
we
it
should
shortly.
know that. I'm sorry.
I thought it was the 20th, but I could be wrong.
Maybe now, Tim. Now you're confusing us.
Keep going. I'll look it up.
Anyway, Also included 8 music tracks, the field and the battle music from each of the 4 represented games.
27.
Unfortunately, there's no prelude music, but you can hear a little bit of it during the victory screen when you win with the hero. Dragon Quest themed spirits were also announced to be added to the game. And then the release date was dropped, which was available that day, July 30th, which did not release until later on in the afternoon, I believe, kind of up in the evening, just like Joker did when he came out. It was included if you already have the fighter pass, or the hero is being sold with the stage, with the music, with the character for $5.99 individually. Along with that came 4 brand new Mii Fighter costumes, which are 75 cents each. There's Veronica from 11. There's Erdrick, who is said to come from Dragon Quest, the original, in the video. There's the martial artist, male and female costumes. I'm not too sure where they came from. And then there's a slime hat, which has jiggle physics.
I think the martial artists show up in various games.
Okay.
It's kind of a generic NPC style.
And so with this also was the 4.0 of Smash that added in various changes to the game, the biggest of which I would argue is the online tournament mode, which now will allow you to be put randomly into up to a 64-man tournament with rules that are set by the system and can change over time, along with special event tournaments to be held from time to time. I would say probably with those special event tournaments, there's going to be some kind of prize like a spirit or something like that you can get for your participation. Because every time I have played a tournament, no matter if I lost in the first round, since this update has come out, I got a spirit I did not have.
Oh,
so
cool.
I would say there's probably something like that coming.
I don't think my son has tried the tournament mode yet. So
it's a really cool feature. I mean, you just hop on, you pick your character, it randomly matches you up. You play your battles, and battles are 2 minutes and 30 seconds with 2 stock. And most of the stages are Omega stages for this tournament. So it's all flat, items included. And there's some.
My son normally plays with Omega with no items, so the items will probably mess him up.
There are some. I've learned that there's some really good online Smash players, and I am not one of them. I thought I was okay, and then you go online, and it's like, oh my.
So, he was at the house here when he first tried playing as the hero, and he is like the luckiest kid I know. He gets like he gets the most shinies in Pokemon Go and whatnot. There's a random element of Game & Watch where he holds up a number, and whatever the number is that an effect happens, 9 is like the best effect, and he gets 9 a lot. So his friends there get mad at him. So he is like the RNG guy. The first time he did the slash strike was a crit hit and a KO. First hit, boom, KO. He's like, RNG, yay.
There's a ton of people playing as the hero online in those tournaments as well, and they already are way too good. The hero's moveset, I want to talk about that for just a minute because it's pretty different than Smash. In fact, I would say it's one of the most unique movesets that we have seen. There is your traditional up B, which saves you from falling. There is the side attack. There is kind of like a sword slash combined with magic. There is your traditional standing or still B, which is a charge up fireball. And then there's the down B, which calls up the input menu and has random spells and effects from various different Dragon Quest games. What makes this unique is that all 3 spells, including just the solo B, the tilt B, and the up B, can all be charged. So up B is, correct me if I'm wrong here, Jesse. It's whoosh.
Only the fire one can be charged and saved for later. The other ones,
right.
The other 2 can be charged, but if they're not used, then it's wasted.
Yeah, it's mainly how long you press the B button.
Right.
So
yeah, there's the
you've
wind attack,
got
the lightning attack, and then the fire attack.
With the up, is the whoosh spell. Hold it down for a little bit, it turns into swoosh, and then it turns into Kaswoosh.
Kaswoosh.
And then left and right and B is
Zap, Zapple, and
Zap,
Kazapple.
Zapple, and Kazap. Or Kazapple.
Yeesh. Oh, is that not one of them?
Well, and I was waiting for them to bring out the Snapple.
Yeah.
Snapple, and Kasnapple. And then we could all have tea. And so that's like you can charge up a lightning sword. Then there's the I think the one in the fireball is Frizzle, and Kafrizzle.
Yeah.
And then the down B just has tons of stuff. Like there's a kamikaze attack. There's magic explosion, which like pulls in everybody around you for massive damage. The accelerator, which makes your character really fast. There's Hatchet Man, Sleep.
I think one of my favorite ones is Zoom, because in the normal games, Zoom is your fast travel, lets you teleport to any previous city you've been to. But if you're in a building and you do it, you'll zoom up and smack your head. And so they put that in the game. If there's a shelf above you, you will smack into the shelf.
Do you take damage?
I don't know, but if you're over a gap, you could fall.
Yeah. Like when I saw the moveset and I actually played as him for the first time, like I was very meh on this character until I played as the hero. And the thing is, I think that's the hook to this character, is that you may not understand him and you may not know him from Dragon Quest. Of course, I really think that out of all the characters we've seen so far, out of the three, that this was the shoe-in character because of how popular Dragon Quest is in Japan. Yeah. But like playing as the hero is legitimately fun. And it won me over. I know nothing about this game. I am not buying Dragon Quest XI. I'm not. I know I said that last week about Fire Emblem, but shut up. I am not buying Dragon Quest XI.
We saw how well Persona 5 worked for you.
Yeah, I know, and I'm still working my way through that. I'm not buying a 120-hour RPG. I'm not. I can't do it. I can't handle it. I don't have time. Anyway, I'm really not interested. I love the design work. I love the look of Dragon Quest games. I just don't. I can't do it. So
you say this now, but wait until that social media peer pressure comes in. Come on, Marty. Everybody's doing it.
Shut up, Gary.
You have that voucher just telling you that because I know you're probably right.
You know what's going to happen. Like you're going to see me that Friday, and I'm going to make the post. I'm weak, and I'm buying it at GameStop. Anyway,
you fell over and looked at it in my shopping cart.
Also included with this update, Final Smash meter time limit. You can no longer use the Smash, the Final Smash meter and just let it sit forever. It now will expire. A new, very easy difficulty has been added to Adventure Mode for people who are having trouble on certain battles, or as Sakurai said, you would just like to relax. In other words, you're going to be able to go in and wreck shop. Also, a new Spectate Mode feature has been added where you can bet on who will win, but what you bet, you don't lose. So it's encouraging spectators, which I think is pretty cool. They also mentioned the
same currency used to buy other spirits and other things.
Yeah, you can get items and spirits through this as well.
I wasn't sure what the currency was for, but
just like with Joker's character pack, a new section of the DLC spirit board has also been added for Dragon Quest characters, and new amiibo were talked about during this, which I thought was funny, or just kind of weird, I guess, that they talked about the new amiibo that just came out, but they didn't talk about the hero amiibo. It's like this would be the perfect time to talk about a hero amiibo. And don't you think with that that they're not going to do all four of those? They're probably just going to do the one that's they're probably just going to do the one that's in 11.
Probably the 11. Yeah,
right.
Though Tim's trying to share his screen, but the way I have OBS piecing together faces, it doesn't work well with OBS. I'm not just sharing my screen, so
That's fine.
I don't think
The new amiibo that just came out, by the way, are Isabelle Pokemon Trainer and Pichu. Everywhere that I've gone that carries amiibo still, like GameStop in my town, they were hanging off the shelves, man. I don't think that people were very excited about this wave. And Pichu's gigantic. It was
Really?
like I got Pokemon and Trainer and Pichu comes up to like Pokemon Trainer's shoulders. It's like,
not to
that's
scale.
totally disproportionate, but
I suppose
hey,
an amiibo
they could
that's an-
sell one this small for $16
Yeah,
and
I
not
can
have a
see
right. So
So I'm still waiting for Joker to be available to pre-order, and I plan on getting Joker and Hero. Banjo, I'm not sure about yet. Probably not.
Not Banjo. Right.
So what are you
next-
guys' thoughts
I
on
broke
this
the
pack?
show.
If you're playing, Gary, I know you play Smash. Tim, do you like the character? Do you like the changes? What do you think?
No, I actually don't like. I actually don't play Smash anymore. I brought it for the online, and the online was terrible, so I stopped playing it very fast, which is a shame because I was really looking forward to it. But when you're 32 and don't have local friends who will play games, then the online you kind of we all know how it is. It's the same as Mario Maker 2. So I didn't buy the Fighters Pass, especially being as there's no fighter up until Banjo that I'm actually really interested in. And I did the same thing with Smash on the Wii U. I brought Cloud and didn't buy the other characters, even though I love Corrin and Bayonetta. I just didn't play Smash enough to justify the money.
Are you gonna buy Banjo by himself?
I will probably buy the entire Fighter Pass at some point because I do want to go back and play Smash Bros. And I'm hoping that the people with the really bad internet aren't trying to play online anymore. But we'll see how it
probably aren't.
goes.
Here's the thing. Like I've played here at my office. I've played both Smash with the online tournament, right? And Mario Maker 2. And there is an absolute world of difference. Smash today, same internet, same type of connection, same bars showing. Mario Maker 2, absolutely unplayable.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people
And
say that Smash Bros is okay.
I've never had a problem with Smash, and I still don't.
I think Europe's because of Europe getting all bundled together, I think that's part of the problem. Which I know you could say it's the same in the USA, but I think that is actually part of the cause. Like, because when I've bundled up with a bunch of friends all in the UK and on forums, it's okay, it's fine. It's when you just go at random matches that it was really bad. And it was probably more unplayable than Mario Maker 2 last time I played it, because you would get a moment of smooth running for like a second, and then it would just completely stop. Not do the Mario Jude, it would like completely stop. But yeah, well, I'll have to go back and see, because like I say, most of those people with a really bad internet connection probably aren't bothering to play it anymore, so it might be better now.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't at this point. This is like, and I know this is a shift away from the Smash Brothers subject, but I wanted to mention it here because we brought it up. Like, I don't see how at this point they can continue to let Mario Maker 2's online servers be as bad as online be as bad as it is, because it's honestly it's an embarrassment, because I don't know that anybody that like has played online that has said, boy, I've had a great time, right? Like, it's worked flawlessly. Like, even like, I'm not talking about local play, I'm just talking about like the actual online. I don't know a single person who hasn't had a problem at some point.
When I was trying to get points for Monthly Mayhem that did end last night, like the second week or the third week, things started getting a little better. I still had problems occasionally, but it did become the rarity as opposed to working was the rarity. Like,
see, I played it last week and it was still terrible.
Okay, so maybe I just got lucky.
So swinging back around to the Smash thing, Hero. I think the character is deserved to be included completely. As me personally, I've never played Dragon Quest game, so I don't really care for the character. But I think it's great that Smash Bros is being treated as a worldwide thing with the character choices. So I think it's a great inclusion. It's good to get people into games that they might not really know about or have played before as well.
Right.
So yeah, I quite like the inclusion of the character, even though, like I say, it's not really a character I'd have chose.
That brings up a good point, because I think everybody has a hope for the Fighter Pass, and I wanted to use that to swing back around to a rumor that has popped back up on the internet this week because of this. Back when the Fighter Pass was announced, and back before we knew any of the characters, there was a very popular rumor going around that the very first character would be Joker. The second character, or maybe it was after Joker was teased, right? It was that we knew Joker was coming. The second character that was teased was Erdrick from Dragon Quest.
Yep.
This leaker also mentioned that the third character would be Banjo-Kazooie. And they mentioned that the fourth and fifth characters would be a Monster Hunter representative and Doomslayer.
Ew.
Nope. Okay, moving on.
So no credence to it at all.
I
The
don't
fact
think
that they
it's
nailed the first two.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just, Doom Guy is not the guy I would have picked.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Why I came to that was what Gary was saying about that it's become this global thing, right? That it's become just almost a celebration of video gaming and everything. Now, that's not who I hope it is either. But if you listen to our episode a few weeks ago with Roger from Roger's Base, you know who I hope it is. Because we fanboyed out. I don't know if it was on the show or maybe beforehand for like a good 5 minutes. But anyway, if let me ask you this, Gary, because as soon as I said it, you were like, nope. If it's Monster Hunter and Doom Guy, does that decrease your want for the Fighter Pass?
No, it increases it tenfold, but I just don't see it happening.
Oh,
I
mean, I absolutely adore Monster Hunter, and Doom. I mean, yeah, definitely. I just don't see it happening. It's like having Scorpion in from Mortal Kombat. Like, I'd be so down with that. It's untrue. I don't think that's happening. I think we've got a higher chance to see Snoop Dogg in Smash. And then
he'll theme that he stole.
I'm sorry, but he'll have the similar move set to the Dragon Quest guy. Shizzle, nizzle, bizzle, all those moves.
Well, that was listen.
Just imagine the victory.
I would approve, condone, and be down for an Echo Fighter of Hero if it was Snoop Dogg, and the new spells were like Swizzle, Swizzle.
I'm sorry, but that victory dance. Yes.
Yep.
All in.
Yep. I'm done. I mean, it is well known on the show now that Gary is a fan of 90s gangster rap. And how could you not be? Right. West Coast versus East Coast. I mean,
so yeah, I mean, the entire conversation, to me, I think the most deserving characters to be in at the minute, which I don't believe would be in, is not Master Chief. It would be Minecraft Steve and Dragonborn from Skyrim. Those are the two characters that I think have a massive impact in the gaming industry. Or E.T. from the Atari, because I mean, let's face it, he was quite impactful as well. But
Battle Smash is shoveling dirt.
Impactful.
A mound of cartridges.
Impactful in a landfill, maybe.
I mean, his final smash is literally destroy the video games industry. So what more could you want?
Going back to the rumor, I can see Monster Hunter, since we've actually had Monster Hunter content in the game already.
That's the reason why I can see it not being in.
Really?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, and I mean, okay, I thought the generic nameless hero wouldn't come in, but then we got Hero. So Yeah,
you don't
but
think they're going to do a second generic nameless hero? Because Doom Guy is also a generic nameless hero.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just. Or you know what? We're gonna get the guy. What's his name from Half-Life?
Oh yeah,
Morgan
Yeah,
Freeman.
but I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of like characters which are impactful in the games industry. I don't know. I think we're
GLaDOS
gonna,
for Smash.
I just think we're
Well, I'm
gonna be
down with
really
that.
surprised. Or we might get nameless generic Fortnite character.
you know
Let-
the sad
No,
part
not the
about it
character. Just the dance.
Just
That's the fighter.
is Fortnite dance versus hero.
What's that dance?
Floss, the backpack
Yes,
kid.
the floss.
Backpack
that's-
kid. Floss is in.
Yeah. Hey, let's
Let's move on.
let's pull the train back on the tracks here. Anyway, that update is out right now. You can download it, and also since Gary mentioned it or someone mentioned it, Fortnite Season 10 has begun. That update is available as well as I believe I saw this in the eShop today. Somebody help me confirm that this is out. Is the Messenger update out? The beach update,
I don't know.
because it's being sold as a
Is that
As
a
a
separate
bundle.
DLC? All right, I'll check eShop while we talk.
okay. So another thing that updated this week, and I don't want to talk about this too long, but I think it's important. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker has updated and is the newest Switch game with support for Labo VR. Has anybody downloaded this and tried it that has
No.
the VR kit?
I've got the VR kit. I've got Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and I have not played the Switch version yet. Because as you guys know, I brought the 3DS version because I'm that sort of genius. And then the DLC hits for the Switch version, which figures because I brought it on the 3DS. So I've now got it on the Switch, and I now will be playing the entire playthrough in Labo VR. And
So you can play the entire game in VR now.
oh, I'm not sure if you can. I will. If it's just a section, I haven't actually looked at the news. I should have checked that first. But either way, I'll be playing the VR stuff regardless.
Yeah, I went and finally tried the Smash VR the other day. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I can't see that being good.
Oh, it was really bad looking. However, the Captain Toad also got a full like free to play trial, but only in Japan.
Hmm.
The Labo VR support for Captain Toad allows you to play the Treasure at Mushroom Ruins, Walleye Temple, Briny Bowl Swimming Hole, and Minecart Tunnel Throwdown with the VR goggles.
Oh, okay. So it's only a couple of levels, but it's still
4
it's,
levels.
it's really cool that they're doing this. This support for the Labo. It makes me kind of wonder if they'll ever do a more solid VR kit, even if it's still branded Labo somehow. But I mean, the cardboard's not going to be around forever.
Right.
I still have my cardboard in the cardboard box. I haven't even opened it yet. Okay.
Yeah, I've only got
Looking
the
at-
main goggles set up.
Looking
there.
at the Messenger, I'm confused here. So the game is normally $19.99, on sale for $16.99. Then the DLC, which is marked as a free download, is free, or you can buy the bundle with both items in it for $19.99. Why isn't that also discounted?
Yeah. Well, I also noticed as you were Googling that, I Googled it as well. And this DLC has been out since July 11th. Hooray news.
Has it really? What?
I just noticed it. Anyway, I'll
The
download
bundle,
it.
the bundle is, according to the eShop, the bundle has been available since the 30th, so 2 days ago.
Yep. So I guess they bundled it together and charged you an extra $3. That's smart business. Justin would be all over that.
Right, but yeah, the Picnic Panic bundle was launched on the 11th.
Okay. There you go.
Weird.
So all
bundling.
those updates are out. There you go. Also, top 10 Switch games as of the end of June 2019 have been released. The new best-selling and I guess, previous best-selling Switch game is still rolling. It's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 17.89 million. It's now the second best Mario Kart game in the entire franchise, best-selling Mario Kart game in the entire franchise. Guess which one's still on top?
Why would it be Mario Kart Wii?
Yes, the game you will never beat. Like
Yeah.
that nobody will ever beat. Like no Mario Kart game will ever beat that sales record.
And the reason why the Switch version has Joy-Con wheels, because we all know that's the reason why.
Yeah. The Wii has sold 37.2 million.
Wow.
Yeah, Mario
So
Kart.
they're
8
they're
not
only
catching
20
up.
million ahead of it. Second best selling is Mario Odyssey at 14.9 million. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate very, very close at 14.7 million. Breath of the Wild at 13.6 million, and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee at a combined 10.9 million. From there, Splatoon 2 at 9 million, Mario Party, Super Mario Party at almost 7 million, New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe at 4.1 million. This is the one that everybody we don't need Super Mario Deluxe. No one will buy it. 4 million people did. 1-2 Switch, 3 million copies sold. I am one of them, and so are you.
I'm one of them, unfortunately, too. I didn't want to buy it, but my daughter wanted it.
Yep. Mario Tennis Aces in the top 10 at 2.75 million. Honorable mention, Super Mario Maker sold 2.42 million in 3 days, and it will break into the top 10 this quarter. Absolutely.
Probably already has, but
I would say that's going to be top 5 by the end of the year. Absolutely. Also, at this time, the Switch is being reported to have sold 36 million units, which is pretty incredible, and putting it very, very close to lifetime sales of the Xbox One, which Microsoft will still not release officially.
and I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
So, I've got to ask you guys a question. If Breath of the Wild released later, do you think this would actually be higher up the list? Or do you think it would still be sitting around the same place?
I think it'd probably be in the same place.
Yeah.
Me too.
We'll see with Breath of the Wild 2 when that releases. We'll see if that...
I have a bold prediction that Breath of the Wild 2 will actually sell more than Breath of the Wild.
I think it will.
I believe
yeah,
it. And
I believe it will.
Just like I think Sword and Shield will outsell Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah.
Oh, Sword and Shield are gonna. You want to talk about your May? Like I don't know. Mario Kart 8 is still rolling. I think it and Sword and Shield are your first 20 million. Switch games.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that with that one.
I mean, Mario Kart 8's had 2 years, but I think I think that Pokemon Sword and Shield will be the fastest selling Nintendo Switch game of all time.
Yeah,
Well,
Odyssey and Breath of the Wild don't have the long tail as Mario Kart traditionally has.
Right. And Smash is going to have a pretty long tail as well.
Yeah.
It's going to go for a while. There's several up here. Like, I'm going to tell you which one I think we're going to see drop very, very soon completely out of the top 10, and that is Splatoon 2. With content drying up for it, it's going to drop. It may not go out completely out of the top 10 yet, but it's going to be going down.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, but Splatoon 2, yeah, the support's ended. I mean, Mario Kart, really, is it going to get pushed out by another Mario Kart? I hope so, but it's interesting that it's still, up there. And people say about the ports, but come on, I mean, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and Mario Kart 8 are both in the top list, so
Yep.
ports make sense.
And I will tell you that by the end of the year, or even the first of next year, if Nintendo will go ahead and pull the trigger on Super Mario 3D World and port it to the
that'll
Switch,
be in there, yeah.
oh, it'll be top 10 like that.
And plus Breath of the Wild, if you want to count that as a port, since it kind of is.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's debatable because it was
it's
day and
debatable,
date launch, but it's still
debatable, but it's also kind of true.
right. It definitely
Right.
wasn't the main system it was developed for.
Yeah.
Thus, it makes it a port.
I mean,
let's talk about some Nintendo Switch Online benefits and move on through the news because we've got a big let's discuss topic. I think we need to hit here in just a few minutes. Nintendo Switch Online benefits have been added to all users of Nintendo Switch Online. The first of which is a Mario Tennis Aces free trial. This is going to begin on August the 7th and go through August the 13th. You can download for free the entire game. Not just a demo, not just a little section. You can download and play through the entire game if you want to. And if you choose to purchase the game after the trial, it will be discounted by 33%. Now, that discount is confirmed for the UK region. It's not confirmed for other regions, but this is the, I guess, the Western equivalent of Japan getting Captain Toad and getting it completely for free. But also, Japan's getting Captain Toad for 10 days.
10
You
days?
can beat that. You can beat that entire game in 10 days.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, I mean, like get all of it in 10 days. But it's interesting to see. I mean, like I think that the
I
draw
believe it's
here,
since I
obviously,
finished Builders 2 in about 15, so sure.
obviously here the draw is they're wanting you to download a game and play it online, right? They're wanting to show off the online capability of this game. And I think it's a good choice. Probably, I mean, it's low there. It's bottom of the top 10 list. People are have held out on it for lots of reasons, but you can actually download the trial right now, but you cannot access it until the 7th. But on the 7th, go knock yourself out. Mario Tennis Ace is actually not a bad game. It's not great. If you love tennis, I'm sure you'll like it a whole lot better. But it's had its flaws. Nintendo's fixed a lot of it. I think you should go check it out. Also, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Spirit Board Challenge Pack is now available for free for all Nintendo Switch Online users. A bundle of items is what this is. It's listed as 1500 SP, 10x Shuffle All, 10x All Primaries, and 10x All Support. Basically, those are all items that you can use in the Spirit Board to get new spirits, to help you. The SP is like if you miss when you shoot at the spirit, you can pay some to get to shoot again. You can spend that money in the shop. So that's really cool. They're offering that completely for free for all of you who are Nintendo Switch Online subscribers and play Smash. Really neat. However, on the opposite side of that, online news that we don't want to talk about, that we would not like to share, is that, or some people would not share it. I don't care. I mean, stick a fork in it, it's done. The Nintendo 3DS YouTube app will no longer be supported on September 3rd, 2019. For all 5 of you who are watching YouTube on your 3DS, why?
Because they haven't bought the Switch yet.
I love that we've been hearing the downfall of the 3DS for like the last 2 years, but it also seems that because the sales reports were out for that, weren't they? We didn't actually cover that. But
do you know those?
I think
That's a good point.
It was a couple of 100,000 still, wasn't it? I think.
I don't know. I haven't looked at console numbers.
I actually can't remember what they are. I'm just joking. But if it's a couple of 100,000 now, I'm going to be surprised because it's that high. But it also seems like Nintendo's refusing to let it go. But the Grim Reaper's knocking on its door now. It's like, 3DS, your time is up. And Nintendo's there like, but we've got so many things. We've got the Atui collection. We've got Mighty Number 9. Mighty Number 9's coming.
Was that voice?
This past quarter, now that Gary has made me Google this cursed information, here it is. 200,000 units this past quarter.
Oh, wow. That's higher than I thought. So.
April through June. But the publisher notes, Nintendo notes, this is a 44.9% decrease on a year-on-year basis. That's a 50%. I mean, that's like half, guys.
Yeah. So when you did that voice, the first thing I thought of in my head was 3DS. You have failed this city.
Oh, guys, it's dead. It's done.
I don't know. You know, it reminds me of the Emperor in the Star Wars Episode 3, is it? When Samuel L. Jackson's got him on the window and the 3DS is holding on for its life going, no! No!
You know what the 3DS has then, don't you? Unlimited power!
No, the battery runs out still.
That is true.
Oh, you know what's funny in this is like in the last 30 minutes of the show, Tim has said absolutely nothing.
Tim's gonna have a dad talk with us. He's like, "Now, guys, stop the voice.
He's just sitting over there shaking his head, grinning.
Stop being so hyper. You know what the time is.
Those are my boys. Come on, Tim. Tim still plays his 3DS.
Yeah, my son broke out the 3DS today when we went out to celebrate my oldest's birthday today. He brought my 3DS actually, because I had charged it up because my daughter actually had been playing Animal Crossing on it. So they both have Switches, but they went back to the 3DS. To one playing Animal Crossing, one wanted to play what was he playing? He was playing actually Moon. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
I
Oh
remember.
yeah, Moon Chronicles.
He wasn't
Yep.
playing Picross.
No.
Jesse
Dude.
is disappointed.
Yep, he was playing that, and he asked for my games, and he's been playing that. I guess wanted a break from the Switch, so I look at it. For me, the 3DS is my retro device because I can go back and play the Super Nintendo games. I can play a lot of DS games, all my favorite DS through 3DS games, and then all the Virtual Console stuff that's available to it. So to me,
I've
it's
been thinking
my
about going back to play Minish Cap again, but on the other hand, I didn't want to burn myself on Zelda before Zelda comes out. So
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that.
That's a good point.
Uh,
The
I
Minish
thought
Cap
about
is
that
really
too.
Good.
yeah.
Before we move on, the one thing I do want to say about the 3DS is that I hope that when it's remembered in a couple of years' time, that it's not looked back on as being the system that wouldn't let go. I hope that all this is over with and people remember it for the amazing console and the amount of
I thought
incredible games that it
that was
had.
the GBA.
And that-
It was the console
That's the
that wouldn't
thing
let go.
is that it's really easy, I think, to like demonize the 3DS right now, right? Because it's like, why are people still buying it? But then you look back at the software library, like you look at the last 8 years, right? And you see all of the things that, and I can
15,
even go
it
back.
still plays DS games.
Like I can go back to times when the Wii U like was dead, like in a drought of games. You know, there was maybe like one coming. Paper Mario Color Splash is coming, but it's going to be months. What am I going to play? Well, I don't have any other system. I'll play my 3DS, right? Because there was always something there, and I remember looking forward to that. So, I mean, I do have fond memories of the 3DS. I do like my 3DS. It's just that I looked at my son and I'm like, why are you playing that? Like, what? You have a Switch. Why are you playing your 3DS?
I know. I put more hours into my 3DS than I did on the Wii U.
Oh, I know I did. But, you know,
Because I pretty much had to schedule time to have TV time in order to play Wii
I-
U.
I guess it's
You can't play
it's
Tokyo
sad to
Mirage
see all these
sessions on a
services.
handheld yet.
right. It's sad to see all these services winding down. But if you'll notice, they're winding down a lot faster than like Netflix on the Wii did.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to have all the services go. Just because play the games that you like playing on it before.
Play the games. Yep.
That's
Play 'em.
it
Be
does.
done with it.
It doesn't have to die. It could just go retire.
Yep.
Go live comfortably in a retirement home.
3DS retirement home
Yes.
with all the different 3DS colors and special editions. They all get together and eat.
With
You know,
Neo Geo
eat
Pocket
lunch
and
together.
Jaguar.
Oh, and the PS Vita. Actually, people probably don't even remember that in the nursing home either.
No. Yeah.
It's like in real life. Hey guys, let's dive right into this discussion topic, okay? All right, guys. So earlier this week, EA made a statement that pretty much, I think it's pretty, stock and standard for them now, but lit up the internet it was yesterday, the 31st. And basically, here's a statement. I'm going to read this statement, and we're going to talk about. We're also going to get some of our listeners' reactions, which were very strong on Twitter. Of course, FIFA 20 is coming to the Switch. It is the only EA game coming to the Switch at this time. But FIFA 20 will be the Legacy Edition release, meaning it won't get any new features or anything like that. It's basically just going to be FIFA 19 with an updated roster, right? So EA CEO Andrew Wilson decided that he would talk about why they don't support the Switch, and this is what he said when asked about the possibility of The Sims coming to the Switch. He says, anytime we're evaluating platform conversations, we're really looking at a couple of things. One, does the game really fit that platform in terms of the controls or the community ecosystem? Two, do we think the community playing on that platform would appreciate the game to go there, or would they prefer to play it somewhere else? We have a lot of data that would suggest that a great many Switch owners also own a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One or a PC, and very often choose to play the games that we make on those platforms, even though they have a Switch and they enjoy a lot of great content on the Switch. Jesse, I believe you have a sound effect for this type of comment. There it is. If I had a way to reach through the internet with a rubber stamp and stamp moron on this guy's forehead, I would do it multiple times.
Baka, baka, baka.
Yep. So basically, to recap here, what EA's CEO said is people play our games on other consoles, or they would prefer to play, or a great many, often choose to play the games that we make on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and PC. They don't play them on the Switch. You know why?
Because
you don't freaking make them for the Switch.
Or if they do, we get a gimped version.
Yeah. So, the only thing, I don't know what runs through you guys' mind when you hear this, but the only thing that I can think of is, when he talks about how much data they have, is the only thing I could think of is billions and billions and billions and billions. You know who that is, right?
I don't see
Not
where
a
you're
clue.
going with this.
Nope.
Yeah, no, some people will get it. I just imagine this guy sitting in his office, not relevant in the least to any video gamer person connected to video gaming, dev, publisher, whatever, and he's like, "Oh, we have the best data. We have the greatest data. It's billions and billions of datas that show that no one plays on the Switch. No one plays our games on the Switch. We don't have to make them. Yay!" Idiot.
Right. So,
I want to know what you guys think about this.
you guys go first, because I have a conspiracy theory out there thing going on.
Oh, okay.
I wanna
I
hear
like conspiracy theories. I'm fine. Tim, we haven't heard from you in a little bit. What do you think about this?
I have gone through all the different emotions throughout the years with EA not coming on any Nintendo product, especially handheld after they gave up on it. What was it, on the 3DS when they came out, when that launched, and that was the last, I think, portable game. And I had Madden for the Vita because it had Calvin Johnson on it, of course, because I'm a Detroit Lions fan, being from Michigan, Marty. No, no, I'm just messing with you. But anyways,
let's meet at the Mall of America.
So, but ever since that time, I've been frustrated in getting a game by a Madden game, because I like Madden games, and on a Nintendo product, especially portable, and I've tried the mobile ones. They're okay, but obviously you got to pay money to get the cards and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't played it all the way through to understand it completely and stick with it, because I don't really stick with mobile games all that much. But I liked where it was going to where I could play it on the go. But basically, getting back to this, like I said, I've been through all different emotions. Every E3, my hope, and even this past one, I made that prediction that we'll get a surprise announcement that EA and Nintendo are working on something together. Well, this just tells me
we had that announcement in 2011, and you saw where that ended up.
Yeah. So I mean, it frustrates me to no end. This comment specifically is an ignorant comment, or it's just a they think we're stupid comment, because this comment just makes me even more frustrated to the fact that yes, people are going to those other consoles because you are taking the time to make those games for those consoles. You're not taking your time to make it specifically for the people that play on Nintendo consoles. If you took the time to do that and consistently gave a good product that people could rely on, then yes, we would start buying those on Nintendo products.
Can I tell you where I think that EA would see something sell ridiculously well on the Switch that they probably wouldn't even think of to begin with is give PS4 and give Xbox One and all the other crap, Stadia and all that, give them Jedi Fallen Order. Make an exclusive Star Wars game for Nintendo Switch and watch what happens.
Well, and with that too, it's how well or how much all of us like our nostalgia, right? Especially on Nintendo. There's a certain audience that likes certain things on their Nintendo products.
Yep.
Why not bring back some of those older pixelated Maddens?
Cough, cough.
We
We
love-
cough.
Well, we like Tecmo Bowl, right? So why not bring back a
Right.
older Madden 95 or something like that?
Well, you run into
With a new
licensing
roster.
issues with
Well,
people.
no, new roster.
I mean, yeah, you do the new roster. I mean, do a 2D Madden, right?
It doesn't
You-
have to be the level that you're putting on the
Yep.
PlayStation. If I want to play
See-
that level, then I'll go play there.
Yeah.
If I want to play a football game with something to the effect of what I used to play, it's nostalgic, I'll most likely get it for the Switch. Why not?
Yeah. Well, and why can The Sims not run on the Switch?
Yeah, we had it for the 3DS before, didn't we? Or the DS. We had a Sims game then. My kid
Okay,
had one of those.
right. I've got to say, I think that, Tim, you're accidentally stumbling on exactly why they're not doing this. Because everything that you mentioned is in the past. EA are probably doing all their figures on what they've done in Nintendo's past. And none of them have sold as good as other consoles, not been worth the effort. The Sims didn't sell as well. The football games didn't sell as well. And down to you, Marty, as well. Rogue Squad, Rogue Leader, we love those games. Didn't sell as well. EA is a business at the end of the day. They are there to make money. They need resources. They only have so much. They can't spread themselves over millions and millions. I mean, they already get flack as it is, so they can't spread themselves even thinner and be subject to more flack. I think it's quite a wise business decision maybe from their behalf. I don't know what their stats are, what their figures are, what their resources are, nothing like that. There's a reason they're not doing it. I think that the problem with all this whole thing going on is his statement, his PR team, his speeches prepared for him, whatever it may be, was bad. That's what it is. But I believe that the business reasons that they're not doing it is legitimate. I mean, it's not just EA. I mean, there's a lot of companies that still are making games for the Switch, but EA is going to take the flack of it because they're big.
But
Right.
here's my argument with that is that when the PS4 and the Xbox One were in their infancy and had sold less than 10 million, EA eagerly jumped onto those consoles.
Yeah, but EA also jumped onto the Wii U, and look what happened there.
Well,
So
I would
the
say-
argument about them
I would argue they
selling,
didn't try on the Wii U.
the argument though too as well is they put all these games out previously in the past. I don't remember one that scored well or did well because it was crap. Unless
Right.
I'm mistaken, unless there was one that they actually did put effort in and made and was critically acclaimed and people gave it a good word of mouth. I don't remember any of them.
They released Mass Effect 3 the same week for $60. The same week they released Mass Effect Trilogy on the other systems for less, and wondered why people wouldn't buy the Wii U version.
That's an example.
Yeah, I see Dark Souls, Jesse. We got the Dark Souls example as well. They had Dark Souls Trilogy, and we only had Dark Souls 1 Remaster. And it was the same thing. We paid the same price as what they paid for the trilogy, but it sold. So I think there's always a counter argument, and I'm not just playing devil's advocate here. I think there is actually a lot of business reasons in EA. I just don't think that the jargon that he could have spewed out would have been understandable for investors or the general public, and that's why he.
I understand the business reasons. I understand they got to make money. I do
too, but as the general public at this point, like what I'm saying is you've got a console that has proven 36 million install base. Try one game. Like, FIFA.
It can't be one game either.
It can't be that game. Like
That's why
try something that's not FIFA.
It can't be just one game. It has to be something. You got to get, like, I would say maybe a handful of different games to try to reach out to different audiences.
Like, even just do it digitally. If they were to release, say, Plants vs. Zombies on the Switch, just as a test digitally,
that I think would be a good one for it.
It would sell, and it would.
Right.
There's a console version of it already. Yeah, sorry. I mean,
everything got quiet.
There's a console version of it already. Why not? I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. So we've got to get into where I'm thinking is the real story, but they're not going to say it because they're businesses. So outside of Sims and Plants vs. Zombies, think of any recent EA game. Are there any EA games that do not have microtransactions up its butt?
Ooh.
Well, yeah, Sims 4 has a lot of DLC. I'd say maybe 15 different packs. So that's kind of DLC on a bigger scale, or not microtransactions, but it's still DLC. And Sims on a console plays a little bit differently than Sims on a PC. So I think partially that's ultimately, I off the top of my head I couldn't think of any either. So one of two things, if not both, is per Switch user, the microtransaction amount is less on a per Switch user than it is per user on other systems. And or is now I'm thinking where I was going with that. People on Nintendo systems just generally may not go for the microtransactions as much. So ultimately, I think it comes down to post-purchase revenue. And if it's not as high as they want it to be, it's probably not even worth to develop it in the first place.
So this is where I
can still sell 1 million units and make your $60 million, but that's not enough for them anymore.
This is where my frustration lies, and I'm probably not articulating it well enough. My frustration lies where EA doesn't seem like they give a crap about the Nintendo audience, and they don't give a crap about spending the money to learn about that audience to make games for them. So I do want to know how, what was that last game that they quietly released? That was the two characters, that was the sequel. There were two little characters, blue and red.
Unraveled?
Unraveled, yeah. Wasn't that EA game?
I don't know about that one.
I'm looking it up. That's a good point.
I wonder.
Yeah, that's an EA game.
So I wonder how that did, and how well of a game that was. From my understanding, that was received well.
It's like I said. I think really what it boils down to is the resources, right? Because porting to the Switch is not as easy as people seem to think it is, and a Switch and stuff like it. It's not just like a slider that they put bad graphics, bad this, and then it's done. Unravel is a game that is not graphically intense, probably not intense at all in any sort of respect. So it's easy to port. We got a Faye from Zoink Games and EA that came across, but again, that was an indie game, probably not too hard to port. I think it's down to resources. I think that's the real reason, and I think that there is truth that people do own multiple devices. As a Nintendo fan, it's really easy to think that a lot of people live with just one console, but the truth is people do have multiple consoles, and the Switch is their secondary portable console. So I do kind of think that there is truth in everything that they said. I think realistically, I think everyone's looking into it a little bit too much, including myself, like hands down easily. But business is business, y'all, and EA is going to be EA, and this will be a recurring argument in another year's time.
And
Do you
I'm a
think that we'll
consumer, just
ever
like they're a
see-
business that's angry about what they said. So, and
Yeah.
just,
Do you
I'm
think that
angry
we
because they're not
will-
bringing Madden.
Any time in the Switch's life cycle, do you think we will ever see EA support? And by support, I mean not Unravel and not Faye. Like, will we see them say, "Okay, we get it.
No,
We're
No.
going to support the Switch"?
no. And I believe it's only going to get worse. I mean, we're like, probably a year out of having consoles that are 4K from the box, like fully 4K. And the next, supercomputer consoles, which are going to be even harder to port games for. I mean, there's a panic button, and Bethesda said, Wolfenstein was a miracle that it runs on Switch. Oh, sorry, but if they're making games that are made for the next consoles, they are not going to run on Switch, no matter how good panic button is.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Uh,
brought the Wolfenstein thing up, because we actually got, when we posted about this on Twitter, got a ton of comments, and
Yeah,
we actually said this when we linked to the article. Our tweet said, "Meanwhile, McDonald's to stop selling hamburgers because, quote, people choose to go to Wendy's for those." What are your thoughts? And we asked people for their thoughts, and so I'm going to just read off a few of these before we move on and talk about what we've been playing. At Brian Jedi 82 said this, and that's why I bring this up about Wolfenstein. It says, considering Doom Eternal and Youngbloods are both coming out, evidence points that Doom and Wolfenstein 2 sold enough to warrant ports of the sequels. This seems contrary to what EA is saying. Yes, games like Battlefield probably would sell better, but it's not like EA doesn't have other franchises. Burnout Paradise, Madden, Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare, The Sims 4, etc. would all probably do well on the Switch.
Yeah,
And I think that's a great point. I mean, now, like he said, Battlefield probably not going to write. Jedi Fallen Order probably not going to run on the Switch. But EA has enough franchises under its belt that it could support the system with those. Maybe we don't. Some people might get mad at me calling them this. Not primary franchises, maybe secondary and tertiary franchises. EA could gladly put those on the Switch, and people are still going to buy
C-tier
them.
and D-tier games.
What I don't get is EA has been struggling financially, right? If I remember correctly, they've been struggling financially. Why in the world would you not want to go sell games on a system that's doing well? If they're a business, then do your business where people are buying consoles.
I agree with that. I also disagree with it because, I mean, the Switch has still got a smaller install base. It's a lot more work to port. So
That's a
it's probably
poor
too much of a risk.
argument going along with what Marty just said about the PlayStation 4. When that started off, they were already there, and they got to this point. So
but
why?
The PS4 and the Xbox One are the same power though, roughly. So they don't have to go out the way to make a specialized port. That's what I think this is all down to. I think it's down to resources. I really do.
Well, they make mobile games. Why? The people are porting mobile games over to the Switch. Not saying
I mean,
but still.
I agree with mobile. They should be porting those to Switch. I mean, to be fair, if you go to the eShop now, you get like 30,000 eShop games to one decent one at the minute. So.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of the eShop games.
Did I just go there? That's it. That's a riot.
No, you're right. You're right. Like, I noticed a lot of eShop games that came out today that also released on iOS today and were cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother argument for a whole nother day. At Bald Seagull Game says, just a golf game, at least EA. It can't be that hard to do on the Switch well. And that's a pardon the pun, that's a gaping hole. There are no golf games on the Switch yet. Of course, there's not a whole crap ton of golf games that are being released.
Golf Story?
Well, there is Golf Story. I forgot about Golf Story.
We're lacking racing games. Why doesn't EA bring Need for Speed over?
Well,
They
I'll
used
tell
to do
you
that
what,
before.
because you know what's filling that gap and is going to stand in the gap for us? Garfield kart racing, the next great kart racing game on the Switch. It's coming. You laugh, but it's real. At CrazyTune15, Robert Hood says EA would buy the rights to hamburgers if Wendy's made a better patty and sold it for less. At the cable guy YT, I'm surprised that Switch owners choose to play EA games. Period. At the Goobla King says, I get that people buying FIFA/Madden online competitively usually are not going to play it on Switch, but it seems like they're missing a big market of kids who just like playing sports games casually, who only own Nintendo. My favorite comment, and Gary, perhaps you might be able to translate this one for us. At Dreamcast Barber says, EA are absolute bell-ends.
I will not translate that. That probably should have been said on the podcast, to be honest.
Oh, well. All right. Well, sorry. Let's move on. What?
You know, I think that when it all boils down to it, I don't agree with EA, and I don't think that them not putting the effort in is right or anything like that. I just want to make that clear that I don't think that anything they're doing is right, but I do think that there is reasons. I just want to say that now, because like it might come across that I'm like in defense of them. I'm a Switch player, man. I don't like want them to not bring games. More games are better.
What Gary is saying, and what I think maybe I'm translating here. What you're trying to say is, you don't like it, but you understand why it's happening.
Yeah,
like you get the logic behind why it's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it too, but it still makes me angry.
That's fair. Yeah. Yes, it does make me angry.
You said there was a shortage of racers. Well, in June we had Crash Team Racing come out, and
I'm not talking about kart games.
Okay,
and I know we got.
You're talking about like Need for Speeds and stuff.
I know
like
we got Chase Horizon Turbo,
right.
And that was a great game.
Well, anyway, the point of this is this was done by Activision, but even that's going to get post-purchase deals, microtransactions patched in. Which is also kind of sleazy, being done after review periods.
Yeah, let's take a couple more of these comments. Raynard Teach says, not reading the article. EA moved on from Nintendo a long time ago. I don't play FIFA, so I choose to play EA games other places because I don't have a choice. Admittedly, the only one that interests me is Plants vs. Zombies. And Aging Punk, well, it's true because the other choice is not playing them at all because they've not been offered on the Switch. At Togobat, Bruce Patterson says, that's crazy. We don't play on the Switch because there isn't any. At Michael Burgett, I guarantee if they put forth the effort that people would buy EA games on the Switch, but they don't, and that's on them, not the consumer. And at Zablanc, we're gonna let his be last, and I think this is hitting on what Jesse was talking about earlier. If EA neither understands nor wants to make games for the Switch anymore, I'm all on board, because I don't want any of their bloated microtransaction-y games.
Right.
And I think that's hitting the nail right on the issue, right in the head.
Yeah. This morning, Jim
it's hard to do a lot of mobile transactions with a mobile console.
Right, when you don't always have internet. This morning, Jim Sterling put out a video talking, a lot of the similar things that I was talking about and what LeBlanc mentioned. And I pasted that video in our Discord, and that brought forth more discussion in 30 minutes than I think I've ever seen. So it was amusing to watch.
It's interesting that, that like this is such a, I want to call it a sore spot, right? But it raises the hackles, right, of the entire community, like anytime it comes up. And I think that whether it's a good business decision or not, let me caveat that or couch that in that, whether it's a good business decision or not, EA is only damaging their reputation as a company and a developer and a publisher with this. But on the opposite side of that, I don't think they care.
I don't disagree with that.
I think that they have enough people who will buy whatever they put out every year just because it's got Madden or FIFA or NBA slapped on it. And that's the cash cow, right? And Battlefield, some of the other like franchises they have. And I'm sure they make good games. I don't play any of their games because, again, I'm like you. I don't. I don't have anything to play them on. I'm like, my son has a PlayStation 4, but I'm not a sports fan. I don't don't have the games. On the other hand, like Jedi Fallen Order looks really, really good, right? So it's a squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
I want that game for sure.
And it just
gonna be
sucks
playing it
that
on my
I have to
PS4.
give them money. It sucks that I have to give them money.
And
Dude.
that type of stuff is fine for me. It's like, do those games, do those things that I can go to the bigger systems that can handle those type of games. But it just seems lazy to me that they're not even trying anymore with Nintendo, especially after that comment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really lazy. And
But I guess I can be
gross.
thankful though that they did say that, and I don't have to sit here and guess if they will be doing something.
no, we know they're out, right?
Yep.
No, we
So
know.
I could be thankful for that at least. That
So I
okay,
know where I'm going to be playing Jedi Fallen Order. I knew I wasn't going to be playing on the Switch anyway, but I'm not looking for Mass Effect trilogy to come out. I'm not looking for any Plants vs Zombies or Sims or anything like that. It's not going to happen.
And I'll go buy Madden for my PS4 now because I know
There
it's
you
not
go.
coming to the Switch or anything. So
There you go. Hey Jesse, why don't you cue up that what we've been playing music? Hey Gary, we want to start with you this week because you mentioned a particularly sad story about Fire Emblem that you wanted to tell us.
Yeah, so like Fire Emblem's, I'm not going to sound the biggest fan or anything like that, but since Awakening came out, really enjoyed the franchise like so much. Like it's filled a void from Advance Wars, and you know it holds its own basically. So really looking forward to this game. I think I'm the only Nintendo dad who's actually really hyped for it. So I ordered the big, massive limited edition. Now, the difference between the USA and British one is the British one didn't come with a soundtrack CD. No. It came with something modern. It came with a USB with the soundtrack loaded on, which, to be honest, I don't know why CDs exist anymore. I think everything should be USB or SD card or something.
We
What's
really
that?
just
What's
love
a
our
USB?
shiny discs.
Yeah.
Or vinyl.
Oh, vinyls, yeah. So
They're coming back.
it's essentially like a metal keyring looking thing with a plastic USB attached. I did an unboxing video for the Nintendo dads and I pressed the slider, but instead of the USB coming out, the entire plastic fixture came out. It was just, I mean, it rattled when I got it out the box anyway, so it was already loose. So I contacted Nintendo, but I didn't open the game up because I know sometimes they want you to return the entire box, which they did. They wanted me to return the entire box to replace the one little item that was broken. So I didn't play the game because of that, basically. It's resolved now, and in all fairness, Nintendo's customer service was actually amazing. So can't thank them enough for that, really.
Any idea when that's getting back to you?
Well, I've got it now. So
It's back, so you have it.
Yeah.
Have you opened it to check that your USB drive is safe?
Are you going to do a second reboxing? A
No,
unboxing?
no, not a boxing. No. So I'll let you know what I think of it next week.
Awesome.
But from seeing the rest of the internet, I think everybody's already gathered their opinions and already knows. I miss the old days when somebody would get a game like 5 months late and everybody'd still be interested if it's any good. Now if it's 5 months late, it's like, dude, you're playing that? God.
Gary, if it makes you feel
1980.
better, I'm interested in what you think.
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good.
I'm not, and that's not said in a patronizing way. I am interested in what you think because you obviously care about this series more than any of us.
Yeah, and I'm also the most skeptical I've been over a Fire Emblem game since Awakening with this one because I'm not sure that I like the idea of it basically being posh Hogwarts.
Well, wait until I talk about it here in just a minute. Maybe I will help you with that. All right. So obviously you've not been playing anything this week. Tim, what have you been playing?
Well, before I get into Fire Emblem, I will talk about a game that I put up a review for, which was Zombie Driver, the Immortal Edition. And that game is hilarious, and I'm having a blast with it. It was just a Let's Play video because I only did a few rounds of it, the story mode, and I did one race and slaughter mode. Those are the three main modes of it. and it's basically the ultimate edition of this game that's been out since I think the Xbox 360 version, and Steam had it for a while. I think probably still out there too. But yeah, it's just basically a top-down racer. Almost a little bit reminds me of. Do you remember the arcade game with the steering wheel where you had the RC cars that would go around a little track and you'd have to spin the wheel and.
Sprint.
Oh
something?
yeah.
What was that, Jess?
Something Sprint.
I can't remember the exact name of it, but it reminds me of that. I mean, it doesn't control in the same type of manner, but the controls are fun because you can do a lot of drifting and sliding with the brakes, and then you get weapons and shoot down zombies or run them down. But then you also take damage for every time you hit these zombies, and then the zombies get bigger and the levels get harder. So, like I said, I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's a good no-brainer type of game where you just go in and just run down some zombies and have fun with the story. And basically the story is just about the government kind of hinting at they're covering it up or whatever, but they're making you you're a taxi driver. You got a taxi and you were crazy enough to go out in the first mission, and they're asking you to, well, you made it this far, help us out because our hands are tied, and can you go save these people out in the city so they don't get killed by these zombies? So you're going out on these missions to do that type of thing, and you go pick them up, bring them back to base to safety, and I don't know if there's anything else yet because, like I said, I only got about to level 5, but it's been a lot of fun. So, it's like I said, if you don't want to think too much, you just want to go in and just drive and run down zombies, that's a good game to just jump into and do. I think it's $15 on eShop, or it still might be on sale. I think it was like 10% off. At least when I was doing the review, it might have gone back up to regular price at some point. But it came out the same day as Fire Emblem. So I'm sure a lot of people have been more into the Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I see it as $15, not on sale.
Okay, thanks for checking, Jesse. But I was one of those people that was on the fence with Fire Emblem, and actually I wasn't going to pick it up and was actually probably going to just ask for it for Christmas or something later on down the line. But thankfully, Nintendo UK actually reached out to the Nintendo dads and asked if we'd like to have a review copy. And since everybody who was interested already bought one, I was able to get the review code, and this is my first Fire Emblem game. So I've never played a Fire Emblem before, not even the Ambassador editions that we got with the DS. Or the 3DS. They always interested me, but I just never bit the bullet. Well, I guess I shouldn't say this is my first console version and portable version. I did try the Heroes one on mobile, but like I told you guys before, I don't stick with mobile games very often. I might try it, but that was all right. But I did get into the game actually this evening, as I told you guys, to pick my house. I went to the training mission and got to play that, and then pick the house, pick the kingdom that I was going with. And right when I was getting ready to pick that's when you guys were calling to join the show. So it'll probably be part of the video because I'm actually going to post the recording up to show that, first time player, Nintendo dad picking his, Fire Emblem's Three Houses house. So that's where I'm at right now.
So I'll jump in and talk about it a little bit here, I guess, too. Just save a little bit of time. I'm like Tim. I think I said it last week on the show that I like the concept of Fire Emblem, but I don't actually like the execution of it. Like every time a new one comes out, I get kind of excited about it. Like, oh yeah, this looks really cool. And then I play it for 3 weeks or so or a month, and then I'm kind of like, I'm done. Right? And so with that being said, I plan to skip this one completely. I was just going to skip it. I'm like Gary. I was a little skeptical of the whole Hogwarts-esque vibe to it. But I've only played it for maybe 3 or 4 hours so far. But I can say without a doubt that I love it. Well, I was very surprised.
The
In fact,
animation in it is
the animation is
spectacular.
fantastic. Yeah, just the
Awesome.
whole visual package is great.
Yeah.
And it is seamless, like the way that you're above the map and like in a battle and you go to like attack and it zooms in to right where you are on the map, you know, and it's like, it's not this cutscene anymore. It's actually feels like it's all taking place together. And so I made it far enough to pick my house. There's like an initial little tease about picking your house first, and then there's a second time that it actually happens for real. And so I went with the Black Eagles because I love I actually just love their kind of like icon, you know, the whole banner and everything. And from what I've heard, in the long run, is that the yellow, is it deer?
Mm-hmm.
Are they the deer? Yellow deer are the easiest track. The Blue Lions have the most interesting story, and the Black Eagles story is harder, and there are more difficult choices to make. Like apparently there's some, you know, and I was really impressed by that, knowing that, like I've seen it said that all the tracks in the game individually are like 40 or 50 to 60 hours each. And to know that it's not just like, it doesn't just change the color or the characters for you to run through the story. I'm sure there's some similar beats, but there's all kinds of different things that are going on in the game differently in the houses. And so the premise of the game is it's Fire Emblem. You're going to be, you know, doing battles and going to war, but you're also a professor at this monastery where once you pick your house, you kind of become the head of that house. Or their professor, who's responsible not only for leading them in battle, but also teaching them lessons, which will cause them to form bonds with each other and with you, will cause them to have improved battle capabilities and all kinds of different things like that. Meanwhile, you can also interact with all the other people from all the other houses, and if you build up enough clout with them, you can actually recruit them to come to your house. And I don't know if that means that you like kick somebody out yet or not, but I don't know. And like Gary's right, it's very Hogwarts. Like it's a very Hogwarts vibe. Even just the look of the castle or the monastery and the surrounding grounds, and different things like that. But what I wanted to talk about in particular, since I'm not too far in the game, but has impressed me the most, is the voice acting in this game is absolutely top tier. Top tier. Like I know sometimes like you'll get one or two guys or one or two girls who are really good and, you know, like they're the main characters, but even like the little piddly, you know, comments and things sound like they were done so well. And I know there's been some controversy about the main character's, you know, voice actor over the last week or so, and Nintendo's like patching the whole thing. Like they're for free, they're offering a completely different voice track, and I think they're wise to do so. But it's so well done. Animation, like Tim said, is great. And it really, the voice acting, when voice acting in a video game is done well, it draws you into the story and it makes you want to play more. Sometimes it's annoying and you don't want to hear any more of it. This so far has made me want more and more and more. And it's like cinematic quality voice acting. So Definitely. And really, we don't, I guess don't need to expect anything less than Nintendo, but like I've never, like this is the first game in a long time that I've set up and been like, man, they're really good. You know, it does not sound phoned in. And so I'm looking forward to spending some more time with it this weekend. And I know Tim's going to do a couple videos and different things like that. And I'm looking forward to what Gary has to say too. Does that make you feel better, Gary?
It does. It does.
A little for a non-Fire Emblem fan to be that into it.
It's because I like the army thing. You see, I like the the like castle fort that goes to war, and I don't really know what to expect because I try to. If there's a game that I'm really excited for, I try to know as little as possible.
Same here.
And even though I'm on the fence, I still tried to know as little as possible about this as I could. So.
I mean, with me, I didn't care, so I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything, but like I'm in now. Like I will. This is probably one that I probably won't finish it when other people do. Obviously, I know there's probably people who have already finished one or more of the tracks, but I will probably keep it and chip away at it until I'm done with at least one story.
So
I'm going to make a very concerted effort.
Marty,
it.
you picked Black Eagles. I actually picked Blue Lions. So
It's
Really?
really funny because I'm actually picking Golden Deers.
Okay.
Okay.
And well, look at your shirt too. So
Yeah.
your shirt is
But,
golden.
but that's one of the reasons why
See-
I brought the box set. So it was because they come with these little pin badges. Because I love pin badges, I always stick them on my hats. And I've got a hat here with no pin badge, which is a bit strange. But they've got these little crest badges, and they are so cool. I love them.
Yeah, I just wish I would have picked up the Warfare Edition too. But
Yeah.
I'm cool with this. I'm cool with the regular.
yeah. But I'm just happy I get to
From what I
review
heard
it,
about
so.
the game from other podcasts, the playing through once, still, no matter which path you take, you never really get the full story. There's gaps in the information that you kind of have to play it at least 2, if not 3 times to really know what's going on.
Unless you got
Great.
three guys playing the 3 different areas that we can talk about it.
And then even then, depending on how strict you are on that, you know, maybe may be considered spoiler territory, even though you may have completed one path, and I don't know. That's up to you.
Well, sure, we could do it like you guys did the Breath of the Wild too. So when
Spoiler
that came
cast, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'll just go ahead and jump in, and Jesse will let you finish up this week. I've also been playing the Super Smash updates. Not much to say there other than I've really enjoyed the online mode. I've really the online tournament, and the hero has been a very pleasant surprise. But I also picked up today 2 games, one of which I've not even launched yet. That was Pandemic, which is a version of the popular board game by Z-Man Games, which
that came out?
is unannounced, completely out of the blue, showed up today on the eShop. So
that must hit late, because earlier today I went through the games that haven't been released yet and updating when their release date are, and it still said 2019.
Well, it's out. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what Pandemic is, it's a cooperative board game in which you play as a team of virologists who are trying to save the world from impending doom from 4 different colored viruses. The way that you do that is by moving around the board and using cards you collect to wipe, and other things to wipe viruses off the map. But each turn, a new city is infected, and if the infection rate gets too high, it causes an outbreak, which then spreads to other cities. Which, if the level there is too high, will then outbreak and spread to other cities. It's really hard. It's really difficult, and it's immensely popular. It spawned 2 legacy variants, which are like games that you play where the decisions you make in one game impact the next game.
That's what I was going to ask. Is this the game where the board will change permanently?
From what I've seen, no, it's the vanilla version. But knowing their releases of Carcassonne and Catan, I think there are some added elements in DLC that you can purchase. I haven't launched it yet.
But the actual board game does that then, right?
The legacy versions do.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
The legacy versions do. You open up new areas and different things like that. The other game I picked up today is a game that got shown, I believe, during the last Nindy Direct that I was super excited about. It's called Forager, and it's from Humble Bundle Games. And this is a kind of like a top-down Zelda-esque perspective amalgamation between Minecraft and Don't Starve and several of those games, in which you mine the atmosphere around you and you get different things, and those things allow you to build other things. Only this time there's not only an emphasis on industry, which it's called industrial in the game. There's also farming and other things as well, economy and magic. And so there's obviously things that you do as you unlock, and you start as a level 1 character, and as you level up, you get skill points, which actually unlock different abilities in the game and different things for you to produce in the game as well. So like if you level up your industry, you'll be able to start to produce steel and glass. And those things won't show up on your island until then. And the initial island that you start on is very small, and there's not that much instruction at all. You've got a pickaxe which doesn't break, and you can use it to break just about anything. It might just take some time, and you have to knock down bushes and trees and get food so you can keep your hunger meter up. All done in a very whimsical art style. Eventually, you're able to work up to building buildings and houses and planting your own gardens and doing stuff like that. It's why I was late showing up to record the podcast tonight, because I literally got lost in it. Like I lost track of time, and it's been a long time since I played a game where I lost track of time. It's super simple and sweet, and like my son had played it, and he was giving me pointers, and we were talking about different things. It was just a neat moment, and it's $20. Pandemic is also $20. Both of them are available on the eShop as of today. If you're into Minecraft or Terraria or any kind of those mining and foraging games, this is going to be like right in your wheelhouse. So I would recommend it if you're into those things. If not, as of yet, playing for an hour, I haven't discovered much more than that, right? There is the upgradable thing, and as you go to like your skill tree and stuff, there's tons of slots for gear and all kinds of other stuff. And right before I came, I had just upgraded my pickaxe to where it does 75% more damage, and that's permanent. So there's obviously some permanency to things. What I'm wondering is what happens when you die, and I haven't died yet. I'm wondering if it's kind of roguelike, like you build up certain levels and then you die and you come back, and I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research on the game, but so far so good. Jesse, what have you been playing, bud?
Okay, so I kind of finished up my playthrough of Dragon Quest Builders 2, and I'm kind of referencing notes that what I put in the Discord, because I don't. It's been almost a week already since I typed it up, and I don't remember everything I said. So, Tim asked for what was my final take on it after finishing it, and when I was finished with the story, it pretty much opens up a sandbox mode, and I can do pretty much anything I want. But as someone who never got into Minecraft, that aspect of the game I didn't really care about. So that's why the game just kind of like hit a roadblock and stopped for me, which is fine. I still put in 70 hours into it, and I enjoyed playing the story. But there was definitely things that I didn't get to unlock. Like one of which is you can get a magic pencil, which you take a pre-constructed building, either something you built yourself, something that's already in the game, or if you go to someone else's island and just see what they built, you can make your own blueprint based on that, take it back to your island, plop it down, and then your villagers will build it for you. So you don't, or you can build it yourself if you want. But that's part of the benefit of the game is you're teaching the NPCs how great it is to be a builder, so they all become builders. So they will literally build things for you as long as you have the floor plan down and give them the supplies. So, in the end game, if you want to have everyone have their own identical looking house, you can literally build it once, make a blueprint of it, drop it down 15 times, and just let them make their own houses. Overall, the storyline was pretty linear. A lot of people say that's a negative to them. To me, it was a positive, because I don't like it when games say, "There, you've completed this quest. Congratulations. Here are 15 more you can do." Like, too much. The most that they ever gave me to do at one time was like 3, and I'm fine with that. That was manageable. So, and it very rarely left me with nothing to do. It almost always had me doing something. If I thought I had nothing to do, I really had something to do and I just forgot what I was supposed to do, or I missed something and had to go back and figure it out. But so if you're like the Minecrafty and can play for 100 more hours, have at it. You're gonna have fun. If all you want is a story, I still enjoyed it, and I do want to go back and play the first Builders, now that I'm a year separated from it, from the last time I tried it, I probably, I'm gonna have to go through the start of the game for a third time, but it's probably not gonna be. It's not gonna be an issue with as big of an issue with me
Do you think it's going to be
because it's
hard
been
to
a
go
year.
back because of all the improvements from 1 to 2?
I don't remember. See, I didn't get that far into the one to know uh, how much of an improvement it was. From what I remember, it's plays very similar. So I guess I'll find out when I do play it how much improvements were done. But yeah, I do plan on playing that again. Like trying the first builders again. Okay, then I talked a little bit about this last week, but Picross, Lord of the Nazarick. I mentioned it last week due to the Overlord anime, where I've still only seen the first episode. But this game is kind of played out broken up into 9 pieces, where you're the main character talking to 9 other characters from the show, and it's like they're rehashing memories and unlocking memories. I don't know if these are new story bits or actually stuff that came from the show. The show ran for 3 seasons, so it could have been all. I haven't gotten into that, so on that part I don't know. But so each of the 9 people has 9 regular Picross puzzles, 9 Mega Picross puzzles, and just like previous Picross games, the Picross and the Mega Picross are the same puzzle, just different sets of clues. Then you also get 3 color Picross and 1 clip Picross, which is like a big grid, and you solve certain smaller ones, and when it's all done, it fills in the whole thing. The first 3, the clip Picross was 25 puzzles, and then I've done 4 and 5, and they were 40 each. So there's a ton. They said there's like over 500 puzzles. So if I haven't done the math yet, and I don't know if all of them are 40 or if they even go even bigger. But yeah, I finished, or I'm almost. I think I have like 2 or 3 puzzles left in the 5th clip Picross, but I'm almost done with 5 out of the 9. So yeah, I'm just kind of burning through this. This is my almost like shut my brain off and just go into algorithm mode and just go through the process. So I don't really have to think hard about it. It's just, to me, it's just a logical algorithm to go through. But that's what I like.
That like you hearing you describe it that way is just, it's not frustrating to me, but it just makes me, it's amusing to me because like Picross stresses me out. And you're like, oh yeah, this is relaxing to me.
Yeah, most people are they brain bleeds after it, and this relaxes my brain.
Well, that's how I feel about the pixel lines, like that kind
of fell into the same groove.
Like that's very relaxing to me. It was frustrating at sometimes, but like if you miss one spot and you can't figure out what you've got to erase to
and your one glitch was 15 rows over, and it all chained reaction. That I did have the same feeling with that game, but it got to a point where it got annoying. 128 by 128, it'll take you 4 hours to do it if you don't mess up once.
Right. You get to some of those dinosaur puzzles and they're like, oh, it's like a 128 by 128.
Right.
Ugh, I haven't even tried them yet.
Which is, it doesn't sound like it sounds like it's twice as big as a 64 by 64, but it's actually 4 times the size.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
You're exactly right.
Then the last game I want to talk about kind of like dropped in my lap, and I had a chance to play it today. Jackbox Party 6. We talked about that coming out. The Jackbox people puts out like a weekly YouTube playthrough where they'll host a game and everyone watching the video can play if they could hop in. And while today was the first day they played Trivia Murder Party 2. So I wasn't actually able to play it because you had to literally enter in the code in less than 100 milliseconds to get in, because I tried doing it as fast as I could and I was an audience member on both times, but still I was able to play the game, watch the game as an audience member, and it I had fun with it. It plays exactly the same way as the original game, but the killing room game mini games, they say there are twice as many varied mini games, so there's more games to choose from. Not all of them are new. Like, they did bring back chalices, and when they saw chalices, the chat went, "Oh no, I hate this one."
Not a fan of chalices either, but it's still kind of funny.
But chalices was the only old game that came back that we saw. Everything else we saw was new.
No fingers?
No fingers. There was like a different mechanism instead of fingers. They called, here's a box of presents, pick one. And everyone picked a present. And of those who opened it, most people just got money, so just added to their prize pool. And one person got these weird glasses that went on their avatar with like swirly lenses. What that did is it acted like what in You Don't Know Jack, when you screw someone else and something is just, it messes up with the inputs.
Yeah.
That's what happens now.
Oh, okay.
When and if that person becomes a ghost, everyone who is still alive gets that effect, and their avatars all gets like googly eyes on it.
Huh.
So
when you said a box, like, I was thinking like they opened it up and it was just bees.
No, it was like wrapped presents. And so some of the mini games was kind of cool. Is they had a game similar to Chalices was, here's a box we want you to hide in, and it's got like, I don't know, 5x4 grid, and you had to pick one of the 20 cells, and then everyone else who wasn't playing had a skewer, and they said pick a row or column. So you put your sword through it, and then they open the box, and if you got skewered, you're dead, and if you didn't, then you were still alive. So very similar logically of how chalices work. And there was 2 players in that one. One of them was survived. The other one got skewered twice from the row and the column.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. It's one of my favorite Jackbox games, period.
One of the mini games was literally Quiplash. And it went to the Quiplash art. So that was amusing. And the whole thing is in like a hotel setting. So each killing room is a different room number. So it'll actually say 101 or 305. So it's got a little bit more charm to it.
I'm looking forward to that one too.
Yeah, and I thought there was something else I wanted to mention, but now I don't remember what it was. But I knew that's okay. I knew I was going to forget something, but
no problem.
Oh, got a couple. I remember what it was now. If you have an audience, and this may have been part of the original game, but I never played with a large enough audience to notice. Here we were an audience of 200, but in the final sequence where you're chasing down all the ghosts are chasing down the one person who's alive. That gameplay is the same, but the audience is part of that, has their own row that also chases the one who's alive, trying to get out. So when you get to the exit, there's a force field. And the only way to break the force field is to get a perfect answer to a question.
Oh, wow.
So that adds a little bit of a layer of challenge.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially with 200 audience members, we still had, we had to get 75% of us with the right answer, and that
I
was
got you.
damn near impossible. If you
Yeah,
had a smaller audience, definitely is easier.
that sounds wild. Sounds like they put a lot of thought and research into that game. How to make it better than Trivia Murder Party, which that's a tall feat. If you've never played Trivia Murder Party, Jackbox Party Pack 3 is probably the best out of all 5 of them. You definitely need to check it out.
Yeah, and we didn't hear it, but the people who were hosting it said that it was someone asked a question about the host's voiceovers. How many different? Is there any weird, funny voiceovers that he'll say? And he said, I think he said that he makes a crack about Quiplash, and then says, "I wish the other games in the pack were as fun as this." So even the game is being self-referential to other games.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting that when that comes out. There's still no release date. It's still just this fall.
Cool.
And there are still two.
I think the others have come out around September or October.
Okay. So
Usually.
that would line up. There are still 2 games that have yet to be announced. We know that there are no sequels other than Murder Party 2. And they said they would have an announcement next week with what the Game 4 will be, or a teaser to what Game 4 will be. But they said they'll have something to share next week.
Good deal. Sounds like they're coming pretty quick.
Yeah, and I'm on their PR mailing list, so when they do officially announce it, I'll get it, and we can talk
Awesome.
about it on the next show.
You know what? We've got a couple of emails that we're going to use to close out the show. So, Jesse, why don't you hit that community spotlight? All right, our first email tonight comes from James M., and he writes us this. Hey, all, this is a message from Marty specifically. You mentioned saying buggy in the South, which we do. It's that thing that you put your milk in when you go to Walmart. Also put your Coke in there, and it's Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Coke, Fresca, doesn't matter. It's Coke.
I thought they're
Anyway.
all Cokes.
Yeah, I was pushing my buggy around earlier today, picking up some stuff at Walmart. Here's what he says. So I thought I would recommend a book to you. It's called Speaking American by Josh Katz. It has maps of the U.S. that show differences in certain terms. You might like it. Here's some examples. He gives us a link. I'm super excited about this book, James, and definitely going to check it out. I love as an English minor in college, I love all of that. There's sections of our country that say pop and soda and Coke, and everybody else is wrong. It's all Coke. If they say buggy and cart and something else, and then over where Gary is, we have buggies that we push our babies around in too. But normally we just call them a stroller. And if you're lucky, like Gary, to live across the pond, it's a pram.
Yeah, pram or buggy.
And I have no clue what a pram is. I don't know if that's short for something or how that got started. I don't.
We're just weird.
Yeah. So he gave us a link of an example of what's in that book. And it says, what do you call the little gray creature that looks like an insect but it's actually a crustacean that rolls up into a ball when you touch it? And they have 4 possible answers that are color-coded
roly-poly
with the map of the United States. Roly-poly, which is 75% of the South, and Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia is deep red. That's there. They say roly-poly. Other options are pillbug, which looks like a little bit of Ohio and Indiana. Potato bug is a few splotches in Oregon, Wyoming, Colorado, and a little bit in Massachusetts. And then I have no idea what this creature is upper Northwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Northern Michigan, and the Dakotas.
We call it roly-poly in southern part of Michigan, so.
Yeah, it's all of Maine, Michigan is roly-poly, but all of the northern part is I have no idea. It's that Lake Michigan just completely cuts it off.
Yeah. Yep.
I have no idea what that is.
So that looks like an amusing book. I might even look into that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. We got another email from Third Strongest Mole, otherwise known as Sam, and this is what he writes. And this is a cool email. He says, "Hey Nintendo Dads, it's a little early, but about a year ago on August 2nd, 2018, I first became a Nintendo Dads patron. I don't have any kids of my own, but I hope I can one day be as cool a dad as you guys. Little did I know that I was not only supporting my favorite Nintendo podcast, but also becoming part of one of the coolest online communities around. Shout outs to all my fellow patrons on the Discord server who make that a reality, especially John and Drew for organizing Monthly Mayhem. Here's to another great year. Sincerely, your third biggest fan, Sam, aka Third Strongest Mole. P.S. Topic for the show, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 has me reliving the glory days of couch co-op playing X-Men Legends with my older brothers, even though we now live more than 100 miles apart. What are your best memories of couch co-op gaming memories with family and friends?" Man, Sam, thank you for that very, very, very kind and gracious email. We love having you as one of our patrons. Thanks so much for supporting us. We love all of our patrons, and we hope that each and every one of you have an experience like this. We do try to build a unique online community, and we're committed to that. And we're thankful for you, each and every one of you. And we're glad that you are a fan of the show. Keep listening. Lots more greatness coming down the line. So around the horn here, real quick, one of your best memories of co-op gaming memories.
I've never really played games with my brother. I'm 3.5 years older than him. We normally played our own games separately. But there was one game I remember that we played together. Baseball Simulator 1000.
Super Nintendo.
I think this was NES.
Because that was Super Baseball Simulator 1000.
Yeah, this was the NES version. So it was like your typical arcadey baseball game, but some of the players could have some like super moves. Like one person could jump insanely high to catch those fly balls. Yeah, but that costs stamina, and if you did it too much, then the guy got tired, and you had to swap him out. So you couldn't just spam that moves like that. And we set up an entire season where I played one team, he played another team, and was CPU teams for the others. So we would just, when we had chances to play our games, we'd play our games against the CPU, let the CPU play against the CPU, and then when it came to the two of us having to play, then we had to wait until we both had time to play. I don't think we ever finished the season, because still it would required us to play 128 games each. But it was still amusing to try it. I think that was the only game I remember actually playing with my brother.
Okay. What about you guys?
Best co-op experience. I think it's just when I was in school, we were addicted to Perfect Dark on N64. Like every single day, we'd go home from school, get ready, and then we'd be either friends would be at mine or I'd be at theirs. Perfect Dark, non-stop. Just made a year go like it was an hour. It was so fast. Like really enjoyed that game. Getting full on junk food like beef Space Raider crisps. I don't know if you guys have those, and Freddo Frogs, which is a Cadbury chocolate. Just
No.
Yeah, eating junk food till you're ready to puke, and tons of Perfect Dark. Perfect.
Around here,
Mwah.
the kids use pizza pockets for something like that.
Yeah.
So mine, I'm trying to think of the one. I was trying to think of the one that would probably stand out the most, because I've had plenty of co-op times with friends, especially on N64 when they had the 4 controllers, with GoldenEye and the wrestling games and all that kind of stuff. I didn't have an N64, so whenever I went to my friend's house, we would play that. But the one that stood out to me that just popped in my head that I would have to say stands out the most because he didn't play games until this point was with my dad. It was when I started working in the factory at not the same factory he did, but it was the same company, Chrysler. In my younger years, I got a job there for the summer, was making good money, and I was able to buy not a Nintendo product, but actually the PlayStation, the first PlayStation. And hooked it up to the TV, was showing it to him, and we had Ace Combat. And he just, for some reason, just really liked that game. And they had I guess it wouldn't be necessarily co-op, but it was the dogfight. And this was the first game that he got into it with me. And we both would, he'd wait for me to come home from work, or he would come home from work, and we would play this Ace Combat game together, just flying around and having dogfights, and then I even caught him playing one time, when I came home from work, because I was still living at home, of course, and it just shocked me. But it was a great memory, especially because when I was younger, my dad passed away, so that's why that memory stands out, because it was like something that my generation or our generation, probably our parents you wouldn't catch your parents playing video games. Unless it was Pong or something, just to check out the nostalgia of that, or even, I know I played Pong too, but just our parents playing it with us wasn't for me a thing. So that's why that one sticks out for me.
So I grew up as an only child, and no brothers and sisters. My cousins, on my dad's side, were all way older than me. Like they were, going into high school when I was born, or junior high. They were enough ahead of me that they did not want to play with me, at the time. And then the other cousins that I had were all younger than me, like by 10 years. And so I was kind of in the middle, and we lived not out away from the city, but we lived in like a suburb. And there was like maybe 2 or 3 kids on my road, and that was it. Right. And this was back, in the 80s, when like late 80s, then video games weren't as cool as they are now. Like, Nintendo was really picking up, but it wasn't just like generally accepted like it is now. So not a lot of my friends played, didn't really have a lot of friends, but I remember just like, I guess like the very first co-op game that I can remember playing is Rampage on the NES, and beating it with my mom. And like her sitting up one Saturday night and going through every single city, right?
That game has an ending?
Yeah, you eventually get there, and it's tough. But I think we Game Genied it or something to have unlimited continues. And which I had an illegal Canadian Game Genie, because, there was a time Nintendo wasn't allowing those to be sold here in the United States. And my uncle went to Canada, and that's what he brought me back.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was really cool. I remember playing Double Dragon with her too. But she loved Bubble Bobble and Rainbow Islands.
Yes.
And we played a ton of Bubble Bobble and Rainbow Islands together. Like my dad, the only time I ever remember my dad playing the Nintendo was me walking upstairs one night and him playing Super Mario Brothers, and it was very obvious that he was drunk. And it was like he was like, "What? I'm getting all the coins," just weird. But my mom and I, she was always my player too, right? Because I didn't have anybody to play with until a kid moved in across the street, who I was good friends with from school, and that was around the time of the Super Nintendo, and he had the he had every game for the Super Nintendo he wanted. He had everything, and we played. We had Epic, Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, all-nighters, Street Fighter 2, just when you can play a game for hours, what I'm saying? Like just over and over with 8 characters and 2 of them being mirrors of each other. But I also remember he's the only person I ever knew who had the multi-tap for the Super Nintendo, and we played Bomberman with his little brother and sister, and we just menaced them. It was so much fun. It gave me a love for Bomberman, and that was a great version of that game on the Super Nintendo. So lots of good memories from there, even extending all the way back to when my wife and I were dating and engaged. Was when the GameCube was out. It was brand new, and playing Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2 with my father-in-law.
Yes.
Or then soon-to-be father-in-law, and playing like Monkey Golf and Monkey Pool, and he just having a ball playing that. And I've always had a soft spot for Monkey Ball because of that. So, yeah. Just like I got a ton of those, and now I get to pass it on. I think that's one of the coolest things about video games and kids and Nintendo. The way they do things is they're still keeping couch co-op alive in a lot of ways, in a big way on their system. So it's cool to watch that, that be able to pass down to your kids now, right? Yep. Your own kids. And so those are just a few.
Or nieces or nephews, if you don't have your own kids.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very true. And thanks for that sweet email, man. We really appreciate you. Well, guys, that has been our extra double fun-sized episode 241. And as we close out the show, we want to say thanks for listening. For those of you who are following along on YouTube, thanks for watching. And we also want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers. That's Chris Mears, John Blanco, Dave Ernsberger, and yes, Tim Off. And because of your support, we have the Discord, we have tons of stuff going on, and we also have a website now. It's nintendodads.org. Yeah, Mom, we got a website. We're official. You can check out our newest YouTube videos, our tweets, our podcast episodes. We've got links to all of our social media over there, even the Nintendo Dads merch shop. So you can go and buy Nintendo Dads shirts and stickers and posters and duvet covers and all kinds of stuff that
There's other things that we're working on, adding on when we can.
Yeah, we've got other stuff coming to the website. So we definitely want you to go over and check out nintendodads.org. You can also go over to patreon.com/NintendoDads to support us. And you can also, like these nice people this week, you can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or at podcast@nintendodads.org. Both of those will get you a direct line to the show. And you can call in and leave a voicemail at 929-252-DAD. That's 929-256-3237. We want to say a big thanks to OC Remix for all of our wonderful music used throughout the show. You can download us from your favorite podcast app of choice. That's CastBox, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Spotify, and more to come, obviously, in the future. Guys, we want to say thanks for listening again. For me, for Jesse, for Tim, and for Gary. This has been episode 241. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Pew, 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 pew.